What is up, Dragon fans? So yes, recently in an interview with Collider, director Dean DeBlois has confirmed that the villain from How to Train Your Dragon 2, Drago Bludvist, will indeed return in How to Train Your Dragon 3. And I cannot be more excited because, Drago Bludvist was such a great villain in How to Train Your Dragon 2. It's very rare these days that I've ever hated a villain so much as Drago Bludvist. Not because I hate him because he's a rubbish character, no. I hate him because everything he does, he really does make your blood boil. Because most villains I see in movies today, I kind of I don't really hate them, I just think they're really cool, like Tom Hiddleston's Loki or Heath Ledger's Joker, villains like that where, you kind of look at them and you're like, oh, yeah, they're evil, but you don't hate them because they're so cool. But no, with Drago Bludvist, when you watched How to Train Your Dragon 2, everything he was doing in that film, you were like, I absolutely hate this guy. If this guy was standing right in front of me right now, I would punch him in the face because, he is just that evil. And Dean DeBlois really did, get that point across saying, no, this is a villain, you're not supposed to root for him, like I just said with Loki or the Joker, they're not villains which, you're supposed to like. No, this is a villain you're supposed to hate. And also, he goes on in this interview saying, oh, and in the third film, the character of Drago Bludvist will be a lot more complex this time round, and that gets me more excited because, if you're a die-hard Dragon fan like me, then you will have no doubt watched the Cartoon Network series, both Dragon's Riders of Berk and Dragon's Defenders of Berk. Now, the main villain in the first season of the show, Riders of Berk, you'll remember that Alvin, who was the leader of the Outcasts, was just, pure evil in the first season, of Riders of Berk. But then, towards the end of Defenders of Berk, the second season of the How to Train Your Dragon TV show, Alvin, leader of the Outcasts, actually became one of the good guys and actually helped the Riders of Berk defeat Dagger and his army, back on Outcast Island. So I'm thinking it's going to be a similar situation to that, perhaps. Maybe it's going to be another Alvin situation, from the TV show. Maybe, obviously the second film, he starts out, as a proper murderer. Drago is a proper murderer in the second film. You hate him to bits. And then in the third film, perhaps, he's realised his actions and he's gone, oh, wow, maybe Hiccup was right. Maybe we can sort of live in peace and all that. Oh, my God. But then, you read this, and when Dean DeBlois says a lot more complex, I'm thinking more of an anti-hero. I'm thinking he's going to be a bit good and a bit bad. He's kind of like, we don't really know what the story, is properly going to be in this film yet, so we don't really know what's going to be happening. We know the dragons are going to be disappearing, but we don't know, what's really going to be happening in this third film. So perhaps maybe the things that Drago does, maybe, they might be bad, but he's doing them for good reasons or something like that, Maybe, he'll work with Hiccup and the gang, but obviously, you won't know during the film, you won't know whether to trust him or not, and I like that. I like that how if Hiccup and the gang do end up, teaming up with Drago, that, they'll be like us, the audience watching, they'll have the same thoughts and feelings as us, saying, hey, we don't know if we can trust you. I mean, obviously Hiccup's not going to trust him. I mean, you killed my dad, he's going to be all like that, he killed Stoik the Vast, so, obviously no one's going to really trust him, but maybe he, has to form an alliance with him or something, so, you never know what every decision he makes, you never know if it's going to be for the good reason, or if it's going to be something bad, so I like that. I like it how it adds another bit of suspense to this film. I like that, how, you really don't know what he's going to do. A bit like, Loki in the 4 films. He's a bit good, a bit bad. He's a bit of an anti-hero. You never know what he's going to do. You never know what trick he's got up his sleeve. And I think that's what they're doing with Drago Bludvist in the 3rd film. I think he's going to be a bit like a Loki character, from the 4 films, where you're not sure whether to trust him or not. Everything he does. So it really keeps you on the edge of your seat. But yeah, so that just adds another layer to my excitement for this film. What do you guys think? I absolutely am excited for this. Drago Bludvist, loved him because he was such a hateful villain, and I can't wait to see more of him, and I can't wait to see how this dynamic between him and Hiccup and the rest of the gang plays out in the 3rd film, because clearly Hiccup's going to be super mad at him because, you know, he didn't get to properly finish him off since the last time we saw him. He was just in the water drowning. So yeah, it's going to be really good, guys. So let me know in the comments, Dragon fans, are you excited for this news? Are you happy that Drago Bludvist is returning? And if you are, then how would you like to see him, you know, portrayed in the third film? You know, as an anti-hero or still just the bad guy you remember him being?